What you want to talk about?
So I guess going off of just even the city supporting you, I mean, I want to talk about, we're all from Buffalo, coming up on the east side, coming up on the east side, the American Six, I know just coming up, I know that Buffalo is one of the places that people gonna take you down, no matter what you're doing. It don't matter if it's school, rapping, clothing, whatever you're doing. Like Buffalo is one of the biggest places that's gonna happen. So I'm trying to talk about like our city, because nobody seems to give a fuck, like so-called give a fuck.
Yeah. Why do you feel like so many people don't give a fuck in Buffalo so much? Like, what, because it's small? Is it like not well known?
That in the city.
Honestly, I feel like there's roots in Buffalo from shit that has been, like, I don't necessarily know too detailed in terms of the history of Buffalo, but there's certain things in the roots of Buffalo that causes us a natural separation. Just how majority of all of the niggas live on the east side, or some live on the west side. All of the Hispanics, all of the foreigners, all of them live on the west side. And you got the white people out in the burbs. The fact that the city is split up like that shows you that it's naturally separation. And I feel like there's certain things rooted in this city that cause us to naturally want to separate from each other and not come together. And it's up to people like us to make that change. But I feel like it's a culture that's been like created.
That's where that education, getting out and everything like that. This man over here about to be done with the CAS and getting that school, man. Say no, because for real, that's how you got to make a difference. A lot of these people are not educated, so you can't really teach nobody if you're not educated yourself. So you just passing along bad information and stuff. So we need a lot more black people in the community to get educated and give back and stuff. And a lot of them that do get educated, they leave before they even get a chance to give back and everything.
Or they fake it. I will say that. I know a lot of educated rappers that front like they ugly guy, and it's like, bro, what is you doing? Why are you fronting like you ugly guy when you got the tools to make a change in your community?
Right.
Why we got so many of those walking around?
I mean, I'ma just say this, like, it is separated, and I mean the black people, like the east side, that's where I'm from. It's a lot of gang mentality here. Just like everybody, like Buffalo wants to be Chicago. It wants to be these other places that have all this violence. They want to show that they tough. And it's like Buffalo's been in the top dangerous cities before we was born. So like you don't got to show that. You don't got to do that. And I mean, but I'm talking about just going back to Hutch Tech. Like when it was me, him, and my mans, like we was always different. We always dressed different. We was the outcasts of the school. Like I was in the top of the class. They wasn't. That don't mean I'm not hanging with them, you know what I'm saying? We always had an eye for the fashion and stuff like that. I remember at lunch talking to him like, look, bro, you wearing truck fit. Everybody wearing truck fit now. Like, I'm wearing this. Everybody wearing this now. So that's when we started, like, going with the clothing design thing. And it's like, it's other groups that was there that would always, front on us like, we wasn't shit. We wasn't this, we wasn't that. We wasn't getting these bitches, blah, blah, blah. But I'm looking up now, and these same people trying to rap, these same people coming to me asking about fashion design. Like, Litchy Gang really has been the movement for the movement of the people in our generation now. Like, we had the mindset before everybody else did. So it's like, that's a problem to people. Like, they sat there and they talked about us because they hated the fact that our vision was so clear. Like, people say here, it's like it's a cage around Buffalo for some reason. Like, people get stuck here and don't want to go nowhere. I'm not saying move, but like, it's mad people in Buffalo. They've never been nowhere outside of Buffalo. Like, I've taken people, I'm in college right now, I've taken people to PA for the first time, like Canada the first time, all this other stuff. Like, so it's like Buffalo has this thing where it restricts you. Like, you so used to being held down to the point where you gonna lay down by yourself. So that's something that we need to change. But like, you can't do it by yourself. We can't do it by ourselves. It's like education is one thing, but everybody can't get educated.
Yeah, like, right. Everybody else can't get educated, but once you get educated and everything like that, I think that's just the start to, like, meeting like different people and bringing groups together and stuff like that. School is like, one of them places where, you meet like different nations and stuff like that, and you formulating a plan almost, but I feel like college is a great way to like, start up that, conversation of, building something within the city, if you live in the city and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'm from Chicago myself, so I understand, like, people are like, they feel stuck in like, the neighborhood that they're in and everything like that, but you have to break that habit. You have to talk to different people and everything like that. You gotta, so if you feel like some people are negative in your life, whatnot, you have to cut those people straight out of your life, whatnot, and find some people who are positive, people who are going, going places and everything like that. You just can't just stay in one place. It's like, being stuck. You don't want to be stuck in anything like that. So.
I think like just the aspect of everybody. Buffalo, it's a lot of people that, like you said, are stuck, or a lot of people that are stuck in the mindset. College is definitely an important aspect of it, but at the same time, there's one aspect of it. You just got to get outside of your comfort zone. It's a lot of people that only thing they know is the neighborhood that they've been on, and all they know is the street and around their neighborhood. They never even been to Elmwood. There's people that live in Buffalo that never been to Elmwood.
Right.
You gotta step outside of that and realize that there's more. There's more than just the hood you from. There's more than just the neighborhood you from. There's more than just the school you go to. There's a whole world out there, and it'll change your mindset about how you see stuff, and it'll help you make a change in a positive direction.
That's what it is all about, changing that mindset, like just being stuck in the hood. You're gonna be stuck in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is, a lot of these people that are so quote unquote stuck in the hood and stuff like that, they make the choice on their own to do so. So it's like at that point, I don't want to say they're a lost cause, but it's like, how do you help those that don't want help, but they they still need help?
Some people, that's all they know though. If you look in, Buffalo's kind of a rough example because Elm was right there, but in a lot of cities, it's not so close together. But sometimes that's like you spent 20 years in the hood, trying to go to Elmwood is just gonna feel weird. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna feel comfortable. You're not gonna want to go there. You don't want to go back to the trap. You're gonna want to go back to the trenches.
I think we need more educated. Like for example, like us. Like we was lucky enough. Y'all both went to Hutch Tech, which was one of the best schools in the city. I went to Honors, which was one of the best schools in the city. But like I could say, it's times where I've been in people's houses and stuff where their parents, because of, the people I know, the school I went to, a predominantly white school. My whole grade, there was like 15 black people in the whole grade. So it's like, I've been in people's houses that's $500,000 houses, but then I've been in other people's trap houses where they're bagging up dope. So you feel me? It's like, I feel like a lot more people need to gather all their worldly experiences. And it's like, okay, it's cool. I can understand if you want to be a hood nigga all your life and you've experienced the rest of the world. But don't decide you want to be a hood nigga and you haven't even got a taste of anything else yet like that. And that's really what my problem is with a lot of these people.
A lot of them don't have a choice necessarily. I know I got little cousins that came out the womb and were molded instantly into a hood nigga. They came out the womb and there was a certain clothes that were put on them by their parents. There were certain things they were taught. They came out the womb and they said go out there and fight. They came out the womb and was like go outside.
To me, that's okay up to a certain age, but after a certain age, you have your own mind to make your own decisions. Just like I don't know if you've seen where Bibby, he going back to college now and everything like that. He want to get a college degree. The nigga from the streets, you talk about it all the time, but he realized I need an education, everything, that other side of life. So I mean, it definitely they could when they get older. They could be like, I done been trapping, I made all this money, let me go invest this in a semester at college and shit. But no, they just gonna go buy more dope. So I feel like we need that education in that aspect, because even if they took their trapping to the next level, they could take that entrepreneurship, invest it in stocks or something, then take that back and trap. But they're not even smart about it. And I just want the community just to be better educated in everything that they do, because half the shit they do, they fail at it because they're not being the best they could be at whatever it was.
If you're gonna be a trap star,
if you're gonna be the best trap star you could be, like I'm not saying be a trap star, but invest the right ways, do the right stuff. They're not even doing that right. Like so.
I mean, I feel like the people in Buffalo. I think the problem is that we're held down. Like I've been in class with this man where my teacher told me I can be what I want, and then told him he ain't gonna be shit. We in the same class, sitting next to each other. So like that right there, like Buffalo, people in Buffalo that's supposed to be uplifting you is not uplifting you. When they, like, you know what I mean? You only got that person that's going to give you a hug and you need a hug. Like, I can sit here and tell this man 100 times, like, yo, don't give up. Because I'm his man, so like, that's what I'm supposed to say. Yeah. But when somebody else say it, they don't got no insight on him say it. Now he's going to listen to it because it's like, yo, this person on the outside can see I'm hurting and they telling me it's going to be okay. Like, they telling me not to give up. So it must really mean, like, you know what I mean? That's like your parent telling you everything going to be fine. Your parent got to tell you that because that's how we feel. Like, they don't got to tell you nothing, but that's how we feel. So it's like, it's not enough of us. Like us, our generation, like uplifting these kids now. That's why you see these generations as they going on. These kids is getting worse and worse and worse because, like he said, they come out the womb like these kids now. Like they come out the womb, putting on Jordans, putting on Polo, putting on Trues, and it's like they not getting taught real life values. So it's like that's exactly what it is. So I feel like that's why it's a lot of people that feel like they don't have any other option because they're not told anything. They're told you have no other option. And I mean, yeah, when you get to a certain point, but I mean that certain point might be that man being in jail, might be his last breath being taken by him realizing that I could have did this. So like, we're just lucky that we were able to get the opportunity to actually have that experience, but everybody doesn't get that experience. So I think that's what breaks us apart from the rest of the world, I think.